A judge temporarily blocked the law that bans almost all abortions in Texas, and some doctors quickly resumed providing services.
That providers and patients in Texas cannot wait until this case or any other is finally adjudicated to final judgment.
We look at what this means for Texas women now and the long term outlook that likely leads to the Supreme Court.
I'm asking Texas voters to take a look at my record.
Three strong challengers step up to take on a powerful incumbent.
I have a proven conservative record, always considered one of the top conservatives in the House.
But can a Republican beat Ken Paxton after Donald Trump endorsed him?
He likes my policies. He has supported me in the past, and I'll continue to reach out to his supporters.
We go in depth with the challengers in the primary race for Attorney General, the reasons they're running, and why they believe they can win.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. We come to you this week from just outside the state capitol, where there's a lot of action happening under the dome as the third special session moves closer to the finish line. But a big story this week centers on something lawmakers passed earlier this year, Senate Bill 8, also known as the Texas Heartbeat Act. The law bans abortions once cardiac activity is detected, which can be as early as 6 weeks. It also gives the power to private citizens to enforce the law and lets them sue providers or anyone who helps someone get an abortion. But Wednesday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the law. The state immediately appealed to the Fifth Circuit Court to overturn the stay, and the ruling led some abortion providers to resume services in the state. Monica Madden explains what this all means for Texas women as the fight draws out in the courts.
Providing abortion care in the state has been nothing short of a dystopian nightmare.
In the months since the Texas Heartbeat Act went into effect, many providers in the state have halted procedures after 6 weeks in fear of getting sued.
But complying with the law meant that every day we had to say no to most people who need abortion care.
But with the law temporarily blocked, Whole Woman's Health is taking it as a green light, already offering services as early as Thursday morning.
We reached out to some of the patients that we had on a waiting list to come in to have abortions today, folks whose pregnancies did have cardiac activity, and we did provide them with abortion care today.
But that will not be the case for every clinic in Texas.
The law is on ice.
Still, many women in Texas might not have access to abortions. That's because the law allows providers to get sued retroactively if the courts reinstate it.
The question is whether the Fifth Circuit Appellate Court is going to allow that order to stand.
The state plans to appeal, with the bill's author, Senator Brian Hughes, saying he expects the ruling to be reversed.
You don't have that feeling of safety.
If the order blocking the law is overturned, the federal government will have one option left.
No question. SB 8 will go to the Supreme Court. Which of these cases and in what posture will this make it to the Supreme Court? Nobody knows.
The legal fight over the new Texas abortion law comes as the Supreme Court prepares for a case that could overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade decision. The court will hear arguments over a Mississippi law that bans most abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy. The court convened this week. The justices are scheduled to hear the Mississippi case on December 1st. Monica joins us now. Regardless of what happens, almost everyone expects one side or the other to take their case to the Supreme Court for a final ruling on the law, but that can be a lengthy process, right?
Right. The process of going to the Supreme Court takes a long time, especially given the fact that the Supreme Court has, petitions to hear thousands of cases and can only take a select few up. Specifically, we know that Mississippi abortion law that could very well decide the fate of Roe versus Wade. Even that has been something that people have been waiting for a long time in anticipation of when the court will take that up. It's a very busy for the Supreme Court season for the Supreme Court right now. And Whole Woman's Health, the clinic that's already offering abortions again in Texas, they know this very well because they were involved in a landmark Supreme Court case that had to do with the Texas law in Whole Woman's Health versus Hellerstedt. Take a listen to what they had to say.
We have seen a pattern in recent years dating all the way back to Whole Woman's Health versus Hellerstedt, where the district court enters a very well-reasoned and comprehensive injunction that the Fifth Circuit takes away immediately, and then it's up to the U.S. Supreme Court to step in and reinstate that injunction. And so because we have been through that many times over the last 6 years, That is something that is causing a lot of concern for many providers across the state. The fact remains that providers and patients in Texas cannot wait until this case or any other is finally adjudicated to final judgment. That process takes years. Whole Women's Health versus Hellerstedt was not decided for 3 years until after it was filed. And we simply can't wait. So, what we know is that there are many brave providers out there in Texas who are relying on the reassurances that they got today. And that number, I believe, will continue to grow.
Other abortion providers might not feel so confident because that law has the provision that they could be retroactively sued once and if this law goes back into effect. Josh.
Monica, thank you very much.
Why are you attacking me? I'm really great. I have lots of friends.
An 8-year-old girl tells her story at the Capitol amid the fight over a bill to block transgender kids from playing sports based on their gender identity, the big development that moved the bill closer to becoming law. Attorney General Ken Paxton faces a tough re-election battle from people in his own party.
This office needs to be turned upside down. It needs to be reformed.
We go in depth with 3 high-profile challengers, why they all say Texans need to make a change.